What did the panel think of Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett calling Texas governor, okay, she's from Texas, the governor, Greg Abbott, who is paralyzed and uses a wheelchair, she called him Governor Hot Wheel.
The Democratic Party appears to be scrambling to recreate the style and momentum once associated with Donald Trump, trying to mirror his tone, presence, and energy. So far, the effort hasn't landed well. Bill Maher was quick to point this out, openly criticizing the DNC for lacking originality and coming across as staged rather than sincere. His commentary was sharp, humorous, and direct. Maher didn't sugarcoat his thoughts on Jasmine Crockett either, brushing off her supposed charm as sounding more like online podcast banter than genuine leadership. His point was clear: imitation without authenticity rarely convinces anyone. Trump, for better or worse, never relied on rehearsed accents or scripted behavior. He spoke naturally and audiences responded. Maher wasn't alone in noticing the contrast. One of his guests echoed the same concern, delivering an especially pointed observation that reinforced the critique. Let's take a closer look.
Congressperson Crockett is part of the new trend where informality is okay, where formality used to reign. Okay, fine. That's been going on since the 60s. So her routine is that she wants to bring a little bit of what I might quaintly call the ghetto cat fight into these spaces. I get it, you know, bring a blaxploitation movie or something into Congress. Great, work it. But you do not make fun of the fact that somebody lives their life in a wheelchair. That doesn't work.
Democratic strategists seem to have concluded that voters respond better to bold, outspoken personalities than to overly polished political figures. As a result, they're encouraging rising politicians to appear more confrontational, casual, and unscripted. The problem is that authenticity can't be manufactured. Audiences quickly recognized the stiffness behind Kamala Harris's prepared remarks and the performative tone of Tim Walz's public appearances. That same skepticism now follows Jasmine Crockett. Charisma isn't something you can force through coaching alone. When it's artificial, it shows. Attempting to replicate Trump's style without the substance behind it doesn't come across as strategy. It comes across as parody. Until recently, Crockett may not have been on everyone's radar. That changed quickly. Watch closely.
First of all, it's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was. But what I've always decided is that I would step up when there was a need.
This footage shows a very different Jasmine Crockett from earlier in her career. Calm, composed, and approachable. She once projected a measured and relatable presence. But since being elevated by party leadership, her demeanor appears to have shifted dramatically. The restraint has been replaced with exaggerated reactions and heightened aggression that feels disconnected from her earlier persona. What once felt genuine now seems performative. Instead of substance, there's spectacle. Rather than nuance, there's noise. Trump's confidence never felt scripted. It was instinctive and consistent. By contrast, Crockett's current presentation feels rehearsed and overstated. Voters are highly sensitive to this kind of shift. When someone appears to be playing a role rather than expressing conviction, trust erodes quickly. Maher later revisited this point during an interview with Chris Cuomo, once again criticizing both Crockett's approach and the DNC's enthusiastic backing of it.
And they make 1,000 jokes about it.
But he's a comic.
But it just shows you that, you know, you can joke about these things without
I'm fine with it. But when you cancel one person, because it's a black woman who's doing it, they're not going to cancel her.
Totally.
That's the problem.
You're right. She wears the magic armor. She wears a magic armor so she can do that. Yes, you're right. And both parties do that. Like when you're in our side, like if I made a fat joke about anybody in the world, how dare you from the left? If you make it about Trump or Chris Christie, it's just hysterical.
That's right.
On this issue, Maher raises a point worth considering. Crockett's behavior has often been shielded from the level of scrutiny others might face, largely because criticism is quickly reframed through the lens of identity. This is one of the unintended consequences of identity-driven politics. Performance and accountability take a back seat to optics. The party has done this before, most notably with Kamala Harris, dismissing substantive critiques while emphasizing symbolism. The pattern now appears to be repeating. Crockett is praised publicly while being placed in positions that may ultimately expose her weaknesses, not due to a lack of intelligence or ability, but because image is prioritized over preparation. During a recent debate, tensions boiled over when Crockett referred to fellow lawmaker Nancy Mace in dismissive terms. Let's examine that moment.
That somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those emails actually have. Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that.
Order.
The debate centered on transgender-related policy and the party's struggle to balance advocacy with public concern. As the exchange intensified, Crockett appeared to shift tactics when her arguments weren't gaining traction. Rather than reinforcing her policy position, she questioned her opponent's motives, suggesting the disagreement was about fundraising rather than principle. This move sidestepped the issue entirely. It's a familiar political maneuver. Redirect the discussion away from substance and toward personal intent. Unfortunately, this approach shuts down meaningful conversation. When debate turns into character questioning, solutions disappear. The focus becomes dominance rather than understanding. It's less about exchanging ideas and more about controlling the narrative.
She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plant.
Beyond stylistic imitation, Crockett's policy messaging has drawn criticism for lacking depth. Her statements on immigration, in particular, have been described as oversimplified and disconnected from real-world consequences. Some commentators have even suggested that, by comparison, Kamala Harris's often criticized speaking style appears more structured. That comparison alone highlights the concern. When policy discussions rely on slogans instead of data, important historical and economic realities are ignored. Immigration policy has long had complex effects on labor markets and marginalized communities, yet those nuances rarely appear in Crockett's arguments. The result is messaging that prioritizes optics over outcomes, leaving everyday Americans to deal with the fallout of poorly examined policies.
That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumb ass. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation and factories? Get rid of the lottery. Open it up. Talk to the president. Like, hey, we got a plan. We want to make it easier for people who can vet and come in and work in this country. Come up with an idea besides, any of y'all want to pick cotton? We're like, we're in suits in the middle of the Midwest. Why would we pick cotton? It's like the extreme stupidness of what she speaks.
Despite these concerns, this is the type of figure many believe Democrats are preparing for future national leadership. Loud, confrontational, and dismissive of opposing viewpoints. Party leaders seem convinced that matching Trump's tone is the key to reclaiming lost voters. But they miss a crucial detail. Trump's appeal wasn't simply volume or attitude. It was clarity. His policies, regardless of opinion, were easily understood and directly addressed voter frustration. People felt ignored by political elites and responded to someone who spoke plainly and decisively. Without offering a clear vision or measurable results, adopting a confrontational tone alone amounts to little more than noise. Voters can easily tell the difference.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
When the wheels fall off.
You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
What stands out most is the inconsistency in standards. Democrats are often quick to criticize others for personal choices or associations, while overlooking similar situations within their own party. Crockett's past comments about interracial relationships drew attention, yet similar dynamics involving high-profile Democrats sparked little reaction. The same contradiction appears in economic rhetoric. Figures like Bernie Sanders frequently criticize wealth concentration, while the party itself benefits from major financial backers with significant influence. This disconnect undermines credibility. When leaders condemn a system they actively participate in, public trust erodes. The double standard isn't accidental, it's structural. And with that, we wrap up today's discussion. If you found this analysis useful, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more commentary. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.